Hey everybody, this is Ronan Dave. I am at Red Boiling Springs, Tennessee, about an hour outside of Nashville. I'm here at the Thomas House, which is supposedly a very haunted bed and breakfast. For some reason I can't speak. Maybe the ghosts are tickling my tongue. Supposedly there's been quite a number of paranormal activity here. I'm here for a ghost hunt weekend. We'll see how this goes.
What will I do if the dead do not sleep, not content to be memories we keep? The wind delivers a rainy night and a guest from far away, unhappy in the earth when no one hears you weep. How can I look at the eyes that stare and watch from their grave with evil to share? Leaves on the porch right to the shadows in the yard, chased by the cold wind that blows your hair.
If you guys don't know who we are, we're the world's largest paranormal event company. We do about 60 live events a year all over the world. And this is our #1 favorite place to come to. According to CNN, they said it was the #2 most haunted location in the U.S. And it lives up to it pretty much every weekend.
We have about 20, 30 people here, all walking around making noise. So it's a bit hard to pick up anything. This house was built in 1890. At that time, people thought that the mineral waters here had some kind of medicinal thing that could help cure certain ailments. The first hotel burnt down in 1920, but they rebuilt it in brick in 1924. From 1890 through about World War II, this place was where a lot of the affluent people of Nashville and I guess Kentucky would come to take in the waters. And they could also drink during Prohibition times. After World War II and the introduction of the freeway system, train towns like this started to die off, and this home passed through several different owners until being made into a bed and breakfast. Oh, and a haunted bed and breakfast at that. So periodically throughout the year, they'll do a ghost hunt weekend where you can stay overnight, see if you can experience any ghostly occurrences. We'll see what happens. Main thing, I think, it's just people spooking themselves. Oh, what was that? What was that? But to prepare myself for ghost, I will fortify myself with liquid courage. This is Nut Brown Ale from the Blackstone Brewery in Nashville. Cheers. Now I'm ready to take on all those ghosts. After a fine southern dinner, we broke up into 3 groups. My group went to the abandoned church first. There we sat in the dark for about an hour trying to communicate with the spirits there. Being early November, there were a lot of ghostly sniffles, especially from me. The unfortunate thing is, being a novice ghost hunter, I didn't have night vision on my camera. So to spare the viewer from looking at a blank screen with people whispering in the dark, I put up video and photos of the hotel and area. The audio is snippets of stories that we heard and what we encountered there to give people an idea of what to expect on these ghost hunts. Yeah.
This is a REM pod. What it is, it puts out a field from the antenna, and when they get close, it'll start going off, and the closer they get, the more. And it actually went off last night. I put it back here in the room where we get shadow figures. Hey, consider yourselves lucky. We're the first ones in the church. As the night goes on, it's going to get colder. I'm also doing a little experiment tonight.
Oh dear.
It's not a bad one.
You sure?
But we have him,
Oz.
and I'm using him for 2 things: trigger object and sensitivity. Because, you know, animals are more sensitive to spirit, so you're gonna let me know if he starts getting alert on something. He already looks a little alert.
He looks a bit edgy.
He does look edgy. He wasn't like that at the Thomas house. I don't know if you guys know what a K2 is, this little green line. For one thing, put your phones on airplane mode. It affects all the equipment. This Shane explained to you, don't whisper. I am recording, and EVPs that we record come out as whispers. So I don't want to have to sit there and try to figure out if that was a human live person versus an entity. If you want to talk amongst each other, it's okay. This is your hunt. Just talk in normal voice. If you have your stomach growls from the nice food you had today, just say that was me. Basically own up to any bodily functions. We got Shay, she's our crew psychic. So she's a lot more sensitive to what we can't see or hear. Who's here tonight? I know you're here, I can feel you. Can you come over here and say hello to these nice people?
Somebody's jamming on some music.
Are you listening live? Or you can hear it with your ears?
The music, or we can hear it.
No, they're doing a music show at the Donoho.
And the reason I like the darkness, if you see a shadow, the best explanation that first time someone sees it is darker than dark. So you will see them towards the door in the front, you'll see the crack get blocked. For the people that can see where I put my REM pod in there, the REM pod has a red glow. You'll see it get blocked out by a shadow. The people to the left of me, can you see the red glow? It's darker than usual.
Like closer to us?
Are you assessing the room before you talk to us?
Sorry.
I accidentally touched on that.
Scared the Jesus.
It's me, Felix. I know you like me in here. I'm being facetious. What's that sound?
That was my throat, I'm sorry.
That was your throat?
It was like a half burp, I'm so sorry.
Okay, well, that's pleasant.
I'm so sorry.
Don't feel bad. One night we were here, it was cabbage night, and everybody was rumbling.
Like you'd be completely silent, and you just it's like every time that your stomach would make a noise, like you just look up and say cabbage. So like all night, like it'd be completely silent, then you'd cabbage. And it was
So what's the history of this place?
Okay, this is a church that was built by Mr. Cloyd for his guests to have a place to worship. When he originally built it, it was non-denominational. It did change hands later on, and there was a few different religions in here, and it was sold to the current owner of the Thomas house when they built a newer facility. But there's a reverend here that hung himself.
Wonderful.
And
Like, where
they-
at?
I think his name is Reverend Good because he's the one that acknowledges and is the darker side of whatever's in here.
And I feel like it was up in that front left corner somewhere.
It was up there. There was no ceiling at the time. It was more rafters.
That is my most.
When did he hang himself?
We don't know the exact year
Oh.
because all records here burnt down in City Hall when City Hall burned down 3 times. But from the locals, elderly, I just saw a shadow go from the door.
Wait, wait, you were saying about the Reverend?
So, but we've gotten from 3 separate elderly people in this town that they remember when they were children that someone hung himself, but they don't know the name of the person. And I'd never asked the year, but it's when they were a child that they can't even remember the name. So I'm thinking 70 years ago maybe that it happened. If you guys look at the crack on the door, you'll see things like block out the light. Sometimes it's short like a child. There's an elderly lady in here. We heard a disembodied voice that told me to have a seat right here. And I thought it was Patty, so I ignored it, and she goes, "Did you hear that?" I said, "That wasn't me." She goes, "No." I said, "Well, I guess I'm gonna sit right here." But she seems nice, she just doesn't like people sitting in her chair. And there's no power in this building. There's no wires coming to this building, it was taken out by a truck. A tree branch hit the wire and it was hanging over the street, and a truck came by and yanked it completely out of the wall. And they would not hook it back up because this place is not up to code. There's movement in here like crazy.
There's like 3 or 4 different things.
There you go.
Oh, so there's
Yeah.
4 different things.
That's my REM pod, someone's near it.
Okay, can you back away from it for us?
Thank you. Thank you very much. That tells me that you're back there in the corner. See, that thing hardly ever goes off. We've been here already for almost 30 minutes. And
The red light on the REM pod is moving. The REM pod is moving.
That's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, it is.
And that's one of the harder pieces.
it's moving.
Yes,
that's what it looks
Seriously?
like.
it's moving all over the place.
Yeah,
I said it on the speaker.
I mean, moving.
it's definitely
It
moving.
shouldn't be moving.
Oh my god.
It looks like it's
moving.
floating.
It looks like it's floating.
Are you kidding?
No.
No,
Wait,
No, no, people don't
Nobody
move.
move.
this is a,
That's your benefit over there, whoever's sitting there watching. That's crazy.
I've never. That's a heavy piece of equipment. That's not.
Yeah.
The red pods are moving.
has it ever moved like that before?
No, I've never seen it do that.
Did y'all get it on film?
No, I can't get it to focus.
Okay.
Piece of crap camera.
Are you seeing it too?
Well, at least y'all seen it.
Yeah, how is it actually floating? What is it doing?
How is it moving
Just-
without going off?
The red light is just moving all over the place.
I guess if you grab it from the bottom.
Right.
What is it exactly?
It's PVC cap type thing,
Mm-hmm.
but if there's an antenna on it that's putting out a field, and when the field is broken, it goes off like you heard it.
Mm.
So someone got near it.
It's moving.
Now the red light is the one is telling me that it's on.
Yeah.
Now when someone touches it, it's either green, yellow, blue. I think it has a purple one too.
Well, I meant was how is it moving? Like this one.
It shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be moving.
That's the thing.
I set it on top of like a speaker or something that's in there.
It rings.
I feel like something's touching your neck.
Something's touching your neck.
I feel like it.
There you go.
That's normal.
The reverend might be a womanized or.
Exactly.
That's what I feel. Except it's cold.
Except it's cold.
Did he hang himself or was he hung?
They said he hung himself. It's a good question, but I think it's because he got caught.
It's like right here.
Okay, so I'm not saying
No, you're not. Because
Do
I had
that
to double check
again.
myself.
that was freaky.
I haven't had that happen. That was interesting.
Can you make the REM pod
I swear to God, it was right
It was
here.
right here.
Yeah, right here, and it was a
It
hand.
was white.
Yeah,
Oh, you
You
chills.
can't-
Okay.
I'm getting chills on that one.
Cupid's.
I've never seen
I
that.
haven't either.
It just looks like that light's floating around.
Is it because I challenged it?
Yeah.
Can you make the REM pod go off again?
Guys, I had a hand
It
show
was
up in
right
front of
here.
me,
Right in front of
and
it.
that's-
it was
that's-
like white. It was a hand. And I didn't say anything because I've never seen such a thing,
It's gonna happen.
but she saw it at the same time.
It keeps getting darker, and that's when I start seeing things.
That was cool. Creepy, but
Gave
cool.
me
Yeah,
goosebumps.
I can tell it must have been pretty close because you.
It was like
Right
inches
by
from my knee.
If my head's being
There's camera noise upstairs.
Me too. She said she felt like her head was being touched. I said me too.
Oh.
Yeah, I kind of feel like with my head and like hat were being touched.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did too.
That's the third time it's done it.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's crawling.
that's why I was worried. Not worried. Freaked.
I don't want crawlers.
I'm sorry. I mean, he was on the floor coming at us.
Who's it crawling and what?
Wait, you've seen a crawling thing?
It's a person. It's not anything other than that.
I've seen it at the hockey.
Because I think he's a kid.
Oh, okay.
But he's messing with us because I just got touched at the same time you jumped.
It's a child. It's a boy. It's a little
This is
boy.
what I felt.
That's why I moved.
That. And just to let you know, Reverend Good is running around because when he's around,
Kids don't come out.
Kids don't come out. All right, guys, let's rotate. Green hallway to the church, seance room to the green hallway, and church to the seance room.
Did you see that movie?
It seemed that way to me. Yeah. Well, it's interesting. Like it's not like I'm walking by it, so it's obviously not set off by human motion.
But it looked like the light went up and up.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Like when I was looking at it,
kept moving everywhere.
yeah, it was like floating. Kind of, yeah.
Somebody just breathe.
What was that?
Yeah.
Did you hear the lady?
It was not my stomach.
Yeah,
I
I
heard
heard
it too.
that.
No, I heard a breath.
It was like,
The same time you heard that, it sounded like a lady
yeah,
talk.
I heard it too.
Yeah,
I thought it
it
was
sounded
one
like
of
a
them. I thought it
woman
was one of them.
spoke.
One time I was in here, and we heard somebody walking in here, in 16, and we hear him go in the bathroom and close the door. And I said, oh, the guest must have gone back, go to bed. There's just somebody in there. And one of my guests goes, that can't be. I said, why not? That's my room. But just to let you know, all your rooms are haunted. I was sleeping in this room one time, twin right here next to this door. This is what we usually use as the crew room. And the doorknob, I mean, literally, it went like this. Not just, where it might have been stuck. No, it was rattled. And I just jumped out of bed, opened the door, and came out here. And you can't sneak around on these floors. Everything creaks and crap. And it was like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I go, you're trying to get in, huh? And I went back in bed, closed the door, and then we went back to bed, and about 10 minutes later I hear boots on hardwood going around the bed. Coom, coom, coom. I opened one eye, looked around, and I said, I guess you got in. I went back to sleep.
I swear I've seen something.
So
Did you?
that kind of
Yeah.
comes out around the corner there.
I swore right around the corner I
Yeah,
seen a shadow or something. Thank you.
I can't remember if you want to really talk.
Yeah, shadows you're gonna see sometimes just a quick flash of shadow.
That was essentially it for the ghostly occurrences. At the end, I was too busy fighting jet lag coming from Japan to give much notice to any specters. While the ghost hunt was hardly conclusive in determining the existence of ghosts, in my humble opinion, overall I do recommend the ghost hunt, whether you believe or not. You may not experience any ghostly going-ons, but you get a chance to stay in a nice old hotel with a good dinner plus breakfast and a midnight snack. And if you wake up early enough, depending on the weather, you'll have the chance to see a beautiful
In
sunrise.
the east and day dies in the west. Long in the night I will beg for the sun as I share my flickering fire with an uninvited guest.
This is Ronin Dave. Thanks for watching. See you.